Hello there, and welcome to, hold on. Right, I was gonna take it off guard by how quickly I was brought here, but welcome! We're about halfway into the Sunday runs, and you join us for Mario Kart DS. The runner today is going to be Peak Alex. That's how it's pronounced, right? Peak Alex. And I'm also joined by two very special runners in the Mario Kart DS community. We have Marissa.
Hi, that is me, and I am a high-level time trials player in this game. I've not run the full game categories, but I have watched them quite a lot, so I am quite knowledgeable. The main person I watched is actually the other commentator here, Abel, who's also joining us.
Hi there, thanks for having me. My name's Abel. I'm also a top 10 player for Mario Kart DS, and I do the RTA categories as well for all missions, 32 tracks, and a few other side challenges. But yeah, I'm mostly known for time trialing, and I've been in the community for the last, pretty much since the game came out, last 20 or so years. So yeah, it's good to be here, and looking forward to the run.
I mean, he was time trial champion for a little bit in the early 2010s, so this guy knows his stuff.
Yeah, that's some time ago now. That's 16 years. So that's an age away. And
Told you I did my research.
You did? That you did.
So then, we're mainly just waiting for the run to kick off, so hold on, I talk quite often before I think about what to say, but is there anything specific about this speedrun that kind of sets it apart from the other categories, Abel?
Yeah, so what I'd say is that a mission mode, or all missions, has proven to be a pretty unique addition in the pool of Mario Kart games, in that it's a series of challenges rather than regular racing. So what Peak Alex will need to do for this run is essentially complete objectives, collecting coins, going through numbered gates, collecting item boxes, defeating bosses, and basically just clearing races under special conditions. And yeah, the category pretty much shows off the game's technical depth from a different perspective other than racing. And you can think of it from a casual perspective as a kind of tutorial mode for things like green shell and bomb sniping, amongst other things. So we've not seen a mode like this one come back, unless you consider the new missions challenge mode in Mario Kart World, which came out a year ago. But yeah, pretty unique game mode still to this day.
The thing I've always found interesting about this category is the fact that there's hardly any glitches in it. There's one primary one where you kind of exit out of the mission as you're finishing it to skip through the little "oh, you did it" screen, but that's kind of the only central one, and there are a few smaller ones across the run, so it's very much more of a technical skill run than a glitch knowledge run, which funnily enough, because of a lot of the structures for the time trial leaderboards, that's kinda rare across Mario Kart DS.
Yeah, it's very different. It's like a completely different world compared to time trials. And yeah, it was being mentioned before that this run is not very RNG heavy at all. So compared to the other main RTA category, which is 32 tracks, this one is a much easier walk in the park. But yeah, plenty of minor little techniques and glitches, the same being applied from regular high-level racing, which is snaking, prolonged rocket boost, and we'll see the odd clip or two, particularly on, I believe, Mario Circuit. We might see Peak Alex attempt a wall hop on the mission where you get to race Mario. I forgot exactly which which number it is at this minute, but yeah, looking forward to it.
I believe it is 5/8.
Okay.
Mistaken.
Okay, well, world record holder here, and I just don't remember the numbers, unfortunately.
Yeah, I definitely don't know all of them. So I guess
Yeah.
I
Been there
happen to know
before.
that one.
Yeah. I think I remember 4-2, which is the crabs one, which I've practiced like really, really intensely, and it's one of the ones that I find so fun, where you just sort of spawn in the middle of Palm Shore, one of the battle courses, and just run over the item boxes and collect like triple greens or green shells, or sorry, a single green shell, or bombs, and you just try and eliminate, I believe it's 20 crabs in total as fast as you can. So it really tests your precision apart from your driving ability, which is cool.
Yeah, that's a notorious one for sure.
Yeah.
Lots of time variance.
This run's taking a little bit to get started, but I mean that is kind of to be expected considering this run's being done on real hardware. So it would naturally take a little bit longer for the word's escaping me, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I'm going to be a bit more specific in that sense. From experience, having run myself at these events, I can tell you that it's probably to do with the audio, because every single time I've been set up to do either all missions or 32 tracks at an in-person event, getting the audio to repeat through the headset and on stream and stuff is a bit finicky. So they're probably trying to figure that out at the moment. If anything, that's my guess. But yeah, hopefully should get going very, very soon.
You know, it's funny because like the schedule for the runs of the day kept getting like moved around quite a bit. Like there was one person who said they couldn't show up to a run, and then I think they said that they could, or someone else could take their place later, and then that moved it back forward. And then the previous run they did that was done took a little bit longer than expected. So the schedule was kind of bouncing all around the place. Like I thought this run would start at 3, and then I was told it would start at 2, and then it moved back to a 3, but a little bit after what we were expecting it to be this time. So yeah, if you want to get into commentating for this stuff, I hope you're good at paying attention to shifting time.
Yeah, it's typical speedrun scheduling at in-person events.
Yeah.
So Marissa, you've been to Albion Collective's first event in Manchester. What was that like?
I mean, I think for the first event it went well. The only issue was with the audio, which, I mean, you were just talking about it. I suppose it is common for any kind of setup for these events. But it was still fine enough. It went well. According to schedule, I think. It was basically in the corner of this hall in this like sports center. And the rest of it was an anime convention.
Yeah, that's like exactly how I remember it, because I remember when I was going in, and I brought my dad with me because he does still help me travel quite a bit. And I was saying to my dad as we went in that considering that speedrunners usually don't like it when there's a lot going on so they can focus, they're probably doing it in like an isolated room when there's not that much audio. And then I look to the left and I see the Albion Speedrun Collective setup just right there to the side of the halls as I'm saying that I think they might be in a separate room. That's probably one of the quickest times that I've been proven wrong.
Oh,
but
gosh.
That's still
yeah, exactly.
Going to the event itself was actually great. It was, like you said, a lot more like anime-centric, which I am kind of a passive enjoyer of, but because I thought it would be like a lot more speedrun entered than it was, I only brought like a subtle like little reference for the outfit I got, which, if anyone knows Team Fortress 2, I wore a replica of the Platinum Dueling Badge from that game, because I did actually get that legitimately. And it's funny when you compare what I brought to what Nick brought, because Nick was doing a run of Snake Eater, so he brought an entire Snake cosplay, and I actually didn't notice him at first. It was when my dad mentioned that he was there that I was like, oh right, that's him. But yeah, we did sit down for a little bit and we watched the section with the end fight. And that was actually my dad's first time seeing Metal Gear Solid, and he grew up with the PS2, so he thought it looked pretty cool.
You mentioning Team Fortress there really just opened a box in my head, which has been closed for like the last 10 years. I used to play that game a lot.
Yeah, a lot of people do. It's funny because like, actually, I just thought about it. That would probably be going a little bit too off topic, so I'm not going to bring that up. But yeah, I do quite like TF2 myself. It's my most played game on Steam right now. Like, I have about 3,000 hours in it. Like, I'm one of those people. But because I've learned how to animate in Gary's mod has now reached half the hours of my hours in TF2, and I won't be surprised if later on this year it ends up overtaking it.
3,000's a lot, what can I say?
Yeah, but honestly, with the uncounted hours, I honestly think I have more hours in Wacky Race's PS2. I told you that game was good.
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of people who have speedrun these older console games where you just have no clue of the amount of hours you would have. Like, same for MKDS as well.
It's really funny to me because, like, the PS2 obviously, like, released in the year 2000, but then because of how well it did, especially here in the UK, a lot of people who would have grown up with newer consoles, quite a lot of them, grew up with the PS2 and Wii anyway because of how well they did. And I'm in that boat. I am the last generation to, like, naturally grow up with the PS2 and the Wii. Which is funny because, like, despite the fact that I grew up with two of the, like, most popular consoles ever, I hardly grew up with any of the well-known games. So, like, if you ask me what games I grew up with, I guarantee you about 80% of them would be, huh?
Obscure title after obscure title.
I mean, the PS2 and the Wii were kind of kings of that, but like, you get what I mean. Like, to put it into perspective, I've never played Mario Kart Wii before. Yeah, that's how obscure my collection is.
Gosh. See, I've just seen. Sorry to cut you off there. I was just gonna say I've seen someone at the venue trying to listen into one of the headsets, which to me gives me the indication that they're still testing the audio or something. Hopefully that gets through okay.
I hope so. I mean, I suppose when you're into these niche games that not many people know of, but there's no better place than speedrun marathons.
Yeah.
To show them off, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like pretty much any game will fit into these events, which is quite cool.
And it lets you tell people some very small tidbits about the game that sound utterly hilarious to any outsiders in the community. Like, probably one of my favorite little tidbits is I honestly think that the Dastardly from Wacky Race's PS2 is the most broken character in video game history. Like, the game is literally made to make him being overpowered the whole point of it. Like, the game is centered around how broken he is. That's how you know that like, oof.
So it was completely on purpose by the developers? Like crazy?
Yes, exactly. Like, literally, the last couple races in the game, he is the main villain that you get, and not only are his already insane base stats buffed even more, but his CPU is literally made to only drop items that make your life miserable. Like, even the speedrunners can blunder some of the last stages about 1/5 of the time. That's how broken we're talking.
Gosh. So I guess going back to Mario Kart DS, what's your experience, if any, with the game Hamman? Have you played Mario Kart DS before?
Oh, Mario Kart DS was one of the games that I had in my childhood. Although the weird thing is that it's kind of not much beyond that. Like, I played Mario Kart DS a lot. I did the thing where I figured out about snaking, and yes, I did nearly have the Mario Party style blisters on my thumb from doing it, but the funny thing is, despite that, it still took me ages to remember what the game even was. Like, it took me watching a like old which Mario Kart game is the best one by I think it was Nathaniel Bandy for me to realize, oh, that's the name of the game with like the pinball stage. So yeah, I've got experience with Mario Kart DS and I know stuff about the speedruns, but not really much beyond that.
Okay, understood. Hopefully with this one you'll learn quite a bit about the core techniques, as obviously we mentioned snaking and PRB are kind of like the key ones to have a look at. PRB you don't see as often in mission mode. You see it in certain ones, like I know there's a mission at the, God, I'm forgetting the name. Sorry, the number at the moment. But there's one where you PRB the beginning of a GBA Luigi circuit with Luigi. I'm not sure if you know which one I mean, Marissa.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. So you get to see a bit of PRB there. Then the one with where you're racing against Mario. Hopefully he'll show off some PRB. But yeah.
Yeah, this is quite amusing how certain missions do have the task of performing as many turbos, or not as many, like a certain amount of mini turbos. But we always do way more than what's required, just naturally. Because we're always doing as many turbos as we can in general races.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact requirement for the one on Yoshi Circuit in terms of the mini turbos, but I think you end up doing nearly twice as many with the right strategy anyway. So that's amusing. I thought one thing I'd mention is, so, I mean, it's probably going to be mentioned again, but through levels 1 to 6, it's important to reach a star rank on each mission, as this is the requirement to unlock level 7. And a lot of people may be unaware of this from their childhood, but there is a 7th level in mission mode, and each level has a boss battle that you need to beat in order to progress to the next level. And then once you get to level 7, rank's basically not relevant anymore. So you can get like an A rank and still be able to beat the category, as there's nothing more past that.
Actually, I mentioned about my experience earlier. Something very recent just popped into my head. So even though I haven't played much Mario Kart DS since I was a kid, there's this game I've been playing recently called The Kart 2, which is a really good game that you should absolutely check out. And the whole idea of it is that it's basically a kart racer with basically CTR style controls and infinite speed if you're able to control it, but it's solely based around workshop content. Like, the developers literally go, guys, this is an amazing framework, mod as much as you can into this. And obviously, with that much control, a lot of Mario Kart tracks are going to get modded over. But some of the most high-quality ports are the ones from Mario Kart DS. So I have a lot of experience with playing the Mario Kart DS tracks through that game, which is really funny because like the difficulty for the tracks, because of the different physics, are so much different to the actual Mario Kart DS. Like, probably my favorite example is that Rainbow Road is kind of easy in the Kart 2, but then Peach's Gardens or Peach Garden or whatever is near impossible because of all of like the flat walls, which basically just go, oh, you're going too quick? Not making that corner. So, yeah, that's a pretty interesting little tidbit.
Yeah, Peach Gardens is a very, very difficult track to maneuver. I think, yeah, it was you, Marissa. You had the world record there previously for non-PRB, I think, a couple years back.
I did at one point, yes.
Yeah, I remember you beat Rupa.
Still top 3.
Wow. Yeah, you're still top 5, I believe, overall.
Oh, looks like we're getting going.
Yep.
Allora, bentornati, ciao a tutti, io sono Alex.
So here we go. This is Peak Alex doing all missions in Mario Kart DS.
Seguiremo tutte le missioni di questo.
So just to explain mission mode briefly, it's a sort of challenge mode separate to the standard racing in the game. It's composed of 7 levels, 6 base levels, plus 1 unlockable. Each level has 9 missions, and they can be split in different categories. So goals are to pass through gates, collect coins, item boxes, hit targets with items, drive against the CPU and beat them. And yeah, it basically explores that angle of the game as opposed to just purely driving like in the Grand Prix.
Funny because for those who don't know, hardly any other Mario Kart games have a mission mode. Like Mario Kart Wii has one, but it's only accessible if you're able to do some funny modding stuff, because it was supposed to be accessible in the base game, but they scrapped it and added it later for the online modes. And then Mario Kart World has one, but it's a completely different structure and kind of doesn't feel like a mission mode. It's kind of like on the spot, there's no menus and whatnot. So really, the only kind of similar thing to Mario Kart DS's mission mode is the unused Wii one.
That's correct.
Timer, ci siamo?
Okay.
Yeah, so I believe we were saying PKX has recently gotten a second place time in this category. And
Yeah,
just
to my
introduce myself again.
Yeah.
I'm Marissa. I'm a high-level time trials player in this game, joined by Abel as well, previously world record holder in this category as well.
Yeah, that's right. I'm the world record holder here. I'm also the world record holder for 32 tracks as well. So I dabble in the RTA categories as well as time trial. I think I'll explain real quick what Picalix just did there. So he exited the mission, not displaying the animation, the completion animation there at the end. So he pauses and then selects exit mission. All the while in those 30 frames of screen fade, he collects the last objective, like an item box or a coin, as you've seen there. So that triggers the mission completion. And this is a technique which saves around 3.5 seconds, roughly, every time it's done. So that's over the span of, that's what, 7 worlds, like over 60 odd missions or so. So as you can imagine, it saves quite a lot of time.
Yeah, the time really adds up over the course of the run. And I believe the Japanese version is also used to save a bit more time on the loading screens.
Yeah, it's understood to save around a frame, approximately, in between track loads. So that's pretty much the reason it's used. So Picalix just had a really good start there, especially with that Fish's mission, where you need to be Wario and collect the item box and get a star in order to destroy the cheap cheats. Can be really irritating. Yeah, so far a really strong run. I'd like to mention real quick, so Picalix is the best Italian Mario Kart DS player by far, achieving several feats, which include world records in time trial mode, and he's been getting into the RTA categories more in recent times, like this one and 32 tracks, which are the 2 main ones on speedrun.com. And yeah, he's a big credit to the community, as he founded and currently runs the biggest Mario Kart DS Discord community with around 4,000 members or so.
You know, it's funny. I go in. It's like if you look at the members who are like doing the speed run and doing the English commentary, I find it funny how much I stick out. Like there's Abel, who's one of the most accomplished runners the game's seen. Marissa, who's done a lot of their own feats. Picalix, who's the best Italian runner the game scene, and then there's me. How do you kart, fellow Marios?
Oh look, if you have any questions, ask away. We're here to make you understand and hopefully get you into the game. We're always looking for new recruits.
I think it's great because it does provide like a bit of a different perspective to like the commentary. Like a lot of people are always like, yeah, I know about this run, and everyone does, they can bounce off that, but you hardly ever see someone who doesn't have much experience with like actually doing the runs as the commentary. I think it's a pretty good spin to it. Oh, here's the first boss.
Yeah, so this boss battle, you're going to see Picalix press A and B and turn around here, and he's going to go back accelerate, charge a mini turbo, and knock the big bully into the water, as opposed to having to collect a mushroom and then use that to knock him in. So that saves a considerable amount of time, and now we're into level 2, which
you do the same thing in Super Mario 64 as well, so it's nice to see that those games share something.
Yeah, those go ahead, Marissa.
Fun fact, all the bosses in this game are taken from Super Mario 64 DS, which was released about a year earlier.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
One of the bosses, Goom Boss, who I believe is from... struggling to remember if it's World 3 or World 4 at the moment. But once you defeat him in this game, canonically, it is the last time that he appears in any game. So he dies, basically. He dies in this one. You'll see what I mean.
Yeah, it's quite dramatic.
Okay, so far he's cruising. Quite a strong start to the run. And as you can see here, he is just going to insert as many mini turbos as possible whilst going through the numbered gates. And yeah, another thing I'd like to mention is that Picalix plays on an original Nintendo DS with a capture card. So this DS is generally seen as the standard for high-level play, though you can still play on any other models to your preference. So for instance, the 2 best North American players for time trial mode, Max and Dr. Mario, they use DSIs, to my knowledge, and they're ranked top 10 worldwide for time trials. But the original DS has generally been the standard for so long.
You know, the funny exception to that rule, is the Japanese runner Tiger, who uses a 3DS circle pad, because of course he does. But yeah, most people generally use those models for speedrunning.
Yeah, it's nice that you point out Tiger. He's definitely a huge anomaly in this community. An anomaly for Mario Kart in general. Under a marathon setting, I personally wouldn't have used mini turbos there. I understand that obviously it's faster to mini turbo to collect those coins. If I were Picalix though, I would have played that a bit safer. But still, he manages to collect them and exit.
So you may have noticed there are ratings.
He missed it!
And you actually need to hit a rating of at least 1 star to unlock the final world, rating the run. Go back to 3 stars. So because this mission was done quite poorly, he did actually get an A rank. So he had to do this again, unfortunately.
Sì, alla fine per tempo.
But got it the second time.
Questa
So,
è
okay.
molto tecnica. Iniziamo a sparare, quindi...
Yeah, we're good.
Momento di attesa per...
He would restart there, but it's slower, so he's just going to carry on. Just destroy the pokies. The fastest strat here is to basically stay in the middle on that same item box and just keep cycling the same box. He didn't exit there in time, but it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
You know, the thing, you know, going back to the thing you mentioned about Tiger being a bit of an anomaly, for speedrun games in general, it's actually surprisingly common for a player to appear, like, just out of nowhere and all of a sudden just going faster than everyone else knew or discovering new tricks without even knowing that there is a speedrun community. Like, my 3 favorite examples is in Mario Kart 64, someone discovering a faster Rainbow Road clip after they accidentally found it when experimenting with their friends in the 90s and just assumed that the speedrunning community knew about it, which they didn't. My other 2 favorites are one of the Ratchet & Clank games where they thought they knew how to run the game for years, and then they stumbled across this channel which had just a billion different skips, and only way later found out about the community. And my favorite, Glacier, which is for Wacky Races PS2, who just showed up one day, started doing lap skips that no one had ever seen, and in the span of 5 months, found a lap skip for every single track, when across the span of over 20 years, we only knew about 4. So, yeah, surprisingly common.
Yeah, I guess we do have a similar example in MKDS, because there were a few huge shortcuts found using tool assist, namely on Glorious Pinball, which was found by, I believe, 2 tool assisted speedrunners who had not been involved in this game before, who kind of came out of nowhere. I believe Zima the Papaya and Wang on X, I believe.
Yep, that's correct.
Da
That's
questo
correct.
boss possiamo iniziare a notare
Yeah,
che
those
rimane
that tech
diciamo, di
pretty
alcuni
much
che
changed
sono molto
everything
ispirati
back in,
Super Mario
was it
64.
April 2024?
Sappiamo
So
che
just
It
over
was,
2 years
yeah.
ago now. Yeah, pretty incredible time.
Che è uscito per questa console.
Someone
So
in the
just
chat said my mic was a bit quiet. Is this better?
Perché ogni volta si piazza nello stesso punto per cui basta aspettare.
Oh,
Hopefully
sorry, I
that's
didn't
better for
realize you
them.
were talking. Yeah,
But
continue.
I can, yeah, no, it's okay. We can hear you just fine, but maybe might be different for the viewers. But I was
Yeah,
just gonna
hopefully
say,
mine's okay too.
Momento di trovarsi.
I was just gonna say, so if you're wondering how Picalix is boosting so fast from side to side, this is owing to a technique known as snaking, quite infamous, I'd say at this point. And it's performed by using mini turbos in quick succession on straights and corners. Yeah, and I say it's quite infamous given how input straining it is for the thumb on the D-pad, and how you have to be consistently rocking your thumb from left to right to get the blue and orange sparks to appear when drifting, unlike in the newer games like in Mario Kart Wii or in 8 Deluxe, where you just hold the control stick in a certain direction and then the blue and orange sparks come out on their own, depending on how long you've been drifting.
Questa cosa è vera.
So that's something that you'll see throughout the run.
And it's also, from my experience, a trick that's kind of pathetically easy to, like, figure out, because it's one of the few speedrun techs that I have seen, like, multiple people just figure out on their own without even doing speedruns. Like, all you gotta do is drift, go,
più o meno.
and that's it. Just mash the D-pad, left to right, boom, you got a fast sprint.
Mazzo di carte romane.
Yeah, it is true. I've had a lot of people tell me that they essentially discovered snaking on their own, like tons of YouTube comments that I would get, or just people coming into my stream saying, "Oh, I've realized that the majority of people are actually doing this online, but I've discovered it on my own." So that's quite surprising.
Yeah, I would have been one of those guys as well, and I just randomly wandered into the chat, honestly.
Oh, 1 su 40,
Ottima risposta, dai.
Or at least if I didn't know about like Mario Kart DS videos online in general.
I'd like to mention just there, so Picalix just tried to do a really advanced strat for that particular mission that I don't even do in my record, where you, it's a bit hard to explain now, but it saves a little minuscule amount of time. This one's particularly annoying because it really trained your precision up. See, he just missed the mole there, just barely, and again. It's a very frustrating mission. Yeah. And there's a fast cycle that you can achieve, and you just about got it there. Good. Well done.
Nice.
He recently uploaded an individual video of this particular mission, where he has the world record. He has plenty of the individual mission world records, which is pretty cool. So he's been grinding those recently, and he's got a record on this one.
Non è piacevole, appunto.
Another thing I'd like to mention is that missions will alternate between characters, and you'll notice that the standard carts are the only ones being used. So, for example, you will never see the Egg one or Rob's BLS or any of the different carts being used. It's strictly certain missions are assigned to certain characters. So in this case, DK and standard DK cart for Shroom Ridge. So it really challenges your adaptability, given that the stats are all different for each vehicle.
Yeah, the biggest difference is the drifting between different vehicles, which, as you may have seen, using Peach's carts, for example, which is really difficult to perform snaking with, and also just much slower in general. Most of the common used carts would be, for example, Luigi's or Yoshi's, which just have very good stats all around and good mini-cycle length, which means they can chain boosts very well. Some carts cannot chain boosts, unfortunately, because their mini-cycle lengths are too short. So you really do have to adapt very well to the different carts used in this
dobbiamo essere particolarmente bravi
And going back to what I was saying before about Goon Boss,
Possono essere
he didn't get the right start there.
Nessun problema. Non ci mettiamo
This is
neanche
where he
il
canonically
problema.
dies. So you race Goon Boss on
Idealmente bisognerebbe
Baby
stare
Park, and I'm
per il
sorry,
primo
it's
giro
it's
davanti
one
al
of the best, sorry, one of the worst
che è l'unica
tracks
difficoltà,
in the
perché
whole of
poi
Mario Kart. I have to
quando
say this
termina un
flat out.
giro
Yeah.
con questa animazione qua,
Yeah.
Nice.
diventa molto
He
facile
so you have to race around the track, and did he just hop over the?
Molta facilità.
I've actually never seen that
È
before.
successo qualcosa di
I thought he just does on that free.
Wait,
particolare.
wait,
Is
what's
his
going on?
AI broken? What?
What is Bro doing? Holy.
I'm so confused right now.
Questa non era
Is he
proprio-
down
I've never
the
seen.
lap?
I've never seen this
yeah, this
happen
is-
before.
Non ho mai visto questo.
Okay, so
Tutta la mia vita, ragazzi. Non so cosa
no
Okay.
comment. I need to watch this back. I need to.
And he won? I don't know what just happened.
per andare lenti, scherzavo.
I'm
That
very
makes-
That's
confused
crazy.
by this.
That may be the first recorded time that Goon Boss has ever been lapped. So click that, save it for as long as until the cows come. I don't know how to finish this sentence, and revel in
Era
it.
lui che si faceva male.
Esatto.
Yeah, I'm really speechless. Okay, well, moving on to the next mission.
Vabbè.
You're racing DK uphill on DK Pass.
Vera, Dani.
Sorry, downhill.
L'obiettivo qui è
So now,
appunto prendere 3 funghi per
oh,
fare
he
questo
got the jump there.
Era molto
So if
complicato.
you
Non so come dirvelo, però.
Possiamo
so I'll start off by saying that the category is not very RNG heavy,
26 è una
but
di
there are certain missions where
è pazzesca.
certain
Abbiamo
items will
CD
favor you more
baciati
over
del
others.
2000.
So in this
Abbiamo
case, getting
bug
mushrooms as opposed to
incredibili.
stars
Abbiamo computer esplosi.
is a much
Abbiamo
better thing
delle cose
for that mission. So you
non
can
vedrete
Abbiamo
mai
perso il
un'altra
pacco delle
live.
carte
cut the gap there
No.
and drive backwards.
Ok.
Prime example here as well.
In un'altra missione dove dobbiamo
Yes.
Very
sparare,
notorious.
sostanzialmente i granchi
Yes.
adesso stanno molto
Yes,
lontani, quindi
and,
noi cerchiamo di sniperarli con
Yeah,
le bombe
4-2,
veloci.
very, very cool
Speriamo
mission.
di
If
usci ad ogni 5 perché
all goes
sono
right for
più
you,
facile
it
colpire.
really tests your precision and your green shell sniping, as I was mentioning before. What I usually do here is go towards the crabs, but it seems that Picalex is choosing to snipe them instead. So I mean, if you can accurately snipe them, then great. But this is a really risky move from him.
Honestly, seems like just looking at it, there's a lot of different ways to do this. And also this pause there.
Yeah.
Actually, that makes me think. Considering that like touch controls work for the menus, do like when the run's paused and when they like exit out, do they press the button with the touch screen or do they move it down with the D-pad? Because I can imagine like the touch screen being a lot quicker.
I personally do it with the D-pad when I run this category. And yeah, good question actually. I'm not too sure, but by the way the menu selection is looking on the bottom screen, it might be the case that he's using the touch screen. I'm gonna have another look now because I'm kind of curious to see if he
Yeah,
touches
let's catch it as we do it.
Perfetto,
He does.
finita la missione.
Oh wow, he uses his touch screen.
Allora,
I mean, if you have like if you have like a finger prepared for the right button, considering like the way like your hands would naturally wrap around the DS, I can imagine that being if you got better at it, just like that little bit quicker, because there's only one tap as opposed to a couple buttons. So maybe that could shave off a few seconds if someone got really good at it.
Yeah, it would be good. It's just that there is always that fear of accidentally restarting the mission or like hitting quit or something.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think
So
that's
you
the
gotta
only
be-
reason. Yeah, that's the only reason I haven't implemented it myself or anybody else.
Yeah, it's a very risky thing. You gotta be super accurate.
E poi un donatore anonimo ha donato 50 euro.
This one's a little scary. This has been a run killer quite a lot of times.
Yeah, 'cause it's one of those missions, because if you mess up, it's
Oh.
really difficult to back up.
E ricordiamo
Exactly.
che 50 euro è sufficiente
Exactly.
per
It ruins your rhythm
psicologico
completely,
per una
as
persona
Marissa
che ha affrontato
says.
dei traumi. Quindi grazie mille.
Assolutamente.
I do find it quite funny how large the smoke effects are for like the scaled down thwomps.
turbo verso sinistra,
Like, that just makes me laugh.
Such powerful thwomps, yeah.
Like, they must be putting some real force into it. Maybe they're the guys that trained that green thwomp in Mario Kart 64. You know, Marty.
Who? Marty? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Marty.
a classic for sure.
tra l'altro lì ho dovuto aspettare perché non ho preso il rocket boost perfetto che
may notice that
Especially-
he's not actually looking down
window di
at his
frame di
DS.
circa 3.
He's just looking at the
Diciamo che è
monitor.
abbastanza difficile da fare
So
costantemente.
for this category, at least, I think it's quite important to look at the finer details on screen, especially the bottom screen, just to know which item box is the real one. As for someone who has poor eyesight, this helps you quite a lot.
Dove bisogna prendere gli item box e doggiare i fake item box, però la minimappa lo rende talmente
You know, it is quite funny because, like, imagine just someone walking in on this and just seeing you playing like a DS, but then you're looking away from the DS and still know exactly what buttons are being pressed. Like, if they don't know much about computers, they think you're a god.
Allora,
Yeah, this is one of the. I mean, it is a case where the DS essentially turns into a controller.
Diciamo
and
che è
that's
quello
it.
che ti viene
sì, insomma,
naturale
questo è
fare.
quello più semplice.
Esatto.
Right, so he's about to.
Sì.
Qui
Ah, yes, this is the mission I was referring to earlier with PRB. So PRB is. Oh, he just missed it there. But essentially, when you get the perfect rocket start in this game and you snake without any breaks in between, you can basically ignore the off-road penalty and go on the off-road without losing any speed whatsoever. And so long as you just keep performing mini turbos, you'll maintain this off-road immunity. So he unfortunately failed it there, but yeah, let's see if we can get it for the future mission.
Yeah, in layman's terms, imagine it a bit like you get a star at the start of your run, except it doesn't increase your speed, and to keep it, you have to be like really, really tight with your boosts. And oh,
Yes.
here comes King Boo. King Boo's one of the most interesting bosses in the game with like the way the speed run is done. Because like typically you see this in the world record, but when King Boo is like circling it to prevent him from like stealing the coins, you drive into the lava to make sure he can't, and you can afford to do that enough times because of the balloons you've got. You do it in the world record, but Alex wasn't able to do it here because he missed the first coin.
Yeah, I was just about to explain that. I found it a bit weird why he didn't go into the lava, but he did miss a coin, did he?
Is he going to do it here? Yes, he is.
Okay, he does it here. So this what effectively happens here is you're skipping King Boo's attack cycle. So you just drive into the lava, you lose a balloon, it's okay, you get respawned, and you collect the rest of the coins. Unfortunately, he didn't get the exit early glitch there, but that's World 4 done into 5-1.
La prima missione è molto semplice perché per la prima
Yeah,
volta
we are
non
seeing how
dobbiamo
punishing
avere
this category can be with even quite
insomma,
small
la fiducia devo
mistakes.
mettere nel rocket
such
boost,
as
non
missing
tanto
one coin
negli
or
item.
something
Non la devo mettere negli
can
item
often
perché
just
qua
result
ci
in a
daranno sempre dei
reset
triple
to the mission.
funghi che sono molto utili perché ci sono esattamente
Yeah,
tre
absolutely.
scorciatoie. Quella era
It
la
can be
prima,
really,
questa è la
really
seconda.
brutal.
E lo scopo di questa missione sarebbe battere il catenaccio che qua era
I think this is
I-
probably one of the best missions here. Go ahead.
ho risolto senza
I know that the chain chomps like almost never hit, but it's always like really tense to see it, even when you know that the run is gonna end up dodging them. Like,
leggere qualche donazione.
So fun fact, the music in this mission on Peach Gardens does not play anywhere else in the game, I believe.
That's correct, yeah. The music's from Double Dash originally, I think. I think it's the music that plays when you get a giant chain chomp item.
Questa è la donazione. Poi Christian ha donato 2
actually, that's really funny because for anyone who knows that like prototype stuff, especially for this game, the chain chomp was actually supposed to be an item, and in the prototype versions it can appear in the roulette wheel. But if you hack it to appear, then it just like causes a crash. There's actually a lot of Double Dash branding as well. Oh, and another one I've always found interesting, like. Obviously, if you want to do a fast trap for this, then the boxes always appear in one specific path. But if you want to be risky and try and grab the last one quicker, you can do a mushroom boost to jump over like the deep water and then grab the item box in midair. It's really high, but it's really risky, and it's what the current world record does.
investigare questa cosa perché un po'
Indeed. So,
sospetto. Però
this one's pretty straightforward. Just drive through the numbered gates. Yeah, not a whole lot to say here, other than you need to watch out for this fireball.
Affidabile, ma
Just right there. You went kind of wide there to the left, but that's okay.
He just wanted to make sure he didn't touch it. Like, just...
Sì, qua passiamo sul primo retto, si
Yeah.
chiama la Zighetto Strat, che è nominata in base al giocatore di Smash Melee, Mario Kart DS, Zighetto.
You know, it is interesting to see like the precautions they take to like
sempre
make
visto qua.
sure that they don't hit the fireball, because like with the way you said it, it makes it sound like that like you just go for the jumps anyway despite the risk, and it really does show like a bit of a difference in dynamic between different runners. One of the things I love about speedrunning. You can tell a lot from someone just how they
Qua
run.
c'era un piccolo momento di...
Yeah, absolutely. Like in this game in particular, and I'm sure it's the case with a lot of other games, when I look at someone's time trial record on YouTube, I can very often tell who it is that's playing. Like, I don't know if that's the same with you, Marissa.
Considerando che
Mostly from the inputs,
questa
Exactly.
categoria si basa semplicemente nel
Yeah, there's a whole spectrum of inputs just to
però costantemente
add
perché è molto
there.
difficile riuscire a fare
I
sempre
think
le strategie
Picalex,
veloci.
if you look at his input data, it's mostly left, right, but there are some people that hold down on the D-pad as well. There are others who at the same time hold up, and there's others who hold a combination of left up with down right. So yeah.
The thing I've always found so funny about like recognizing playstyles is that like that obviously applies to a lot of like different video game subsets and whatnot, but speedrunners outside of maybe fighting game players are some of the only ones that can immediately go, oh yeah, this is that person. Maybe because of how much they specifically hone in on them. Like my example that proved this is there was this one time when a YouTuber in the Counter-Strike community took a bunch of pro players' replays and then changed like the player info to make it look like him doing it, and then sent them their own replays. And hardly anyone realized that they were watching themselves. Like that's a really interesting example to show like how like specifically good speedrunners and sometimes fighting game players are at like recognizing playstyles.
Allora, l'MPB deve rimanere
So this is what I was mentioning here.
e si spera in una
He's just lost PRB, but at the beginning you would have seen that he was traversing through the grass at full speed
cerchiamo sempre una
without dropping any inputs.
Gambling.
And now he just needs to be careful not to hit any of the piranha plants.
giocare con le energie di questo gioco.
Is he going to go for the wall hop? No, he's not actually. He's going to play it safe. So on this track, just before going around that previous hairpin corner, there's a slight incline or slight part of the geometry on the grass that goes upward. So if you time it right with a mini turbo or a mushroom, you can go like hop over the wall instead of having to go around. So it was a super powerful technique, and now this is King Bomb. Fifth boss battle.
Which side are you on? King Bomb or King Bomb?
È un po' a fortuna se ti esce o meno. A noi non è uscito e va benissimo così. Comunque.
Fondamentalmente quando tira la bomba.
There we go. He didn't get the fastest cycle. There's a way to basically make him blow himself up and manipulate his trajectory, but I don't think he got it there.
Questa è la missione più emozionante di tutto il gioco.
Devo dire la verità, quindi se vogliamo emozionarci invece con un po' di donazioni, è proprio il
looking at the
momento.
missions with like specific themes like this and just wondering how the hell did this scenario even happen? Like, why is Bowser like reversing on his pipe just to? Is he testing it to see if it even properly works?
They're doing it against their will. They're NPC prisoners in the game.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. And actually, that particular mission reminds me of something in the world record run that makes me laugh, because was that a big donation?
Vi voglio bene, sì, grazie per portare avanti questa meravigliosa iniziativa. È sempre bellissimo rivedere tutti.
Was it another 100?
Non posso
It's a bit hard to tell the audio, but I believe that might have been another big donation.
Poi mi raccontate cosa vuol dire.
Love to see it.
Nice. So anyway, the thing I was gonna say was probably one of the funniest things to me in like any of the runs is that like
giusta per prendere le monete, quindi noi cerchiamo di farla abbastanza tranquillamente. Comunque ci è andata benissimo. Poteva andare peggio questa.
Tra l'altro pista peggiore del gioco.
Ben detto. Questa
è desertizia.
esatto. Questo è interessante perché dobbiamo partire da fermi.
I think you might be cutting out there, Hangman.
Perché infatti?
Are you still with
Ci
us?
sono delle
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you guys hear me properly?
Se noi
Yeah, we can hear you now.
abbiamo un ciclo che è molto
now.
facile
Yeah.
da fare in una mano.
Okay.
It was like that was. I don't even know what happened there because like there was a transition that messed itself up over there, and at the same time my mic started cutting out. It's like the world shook for a little bit, and we felt the repercussions of it in the most mildly annoying way
Perché
possible.
semplicemente dobbiamo andare qua. Ora la becco così.
We're all good now, though.
Anyway, forget it.
Come non detto.
Anyway, what I was gonna say there was in the world record one during the Bowser section, Abel was like looking at chat and like making a Giochi comment about can the streamer pause the stream and then comedic timing for and then comedic timing kicked in and he missed the pause. Like just the fact that statement came like a second before I missed pause. I don't know, it just makes me laugh.
Yeah, reality being a streamer. This
This
strategy is very, very interesting. I may need to go back and watch this. So he uses up his mushrooms quite early, and then he decides to take the gap jump with the ramp at the beginning without a mushroom. So that's pretty risky, given that Peach's card is quite heavy on the quite heavy stat. No offense, Peach. But yeah, now we're off to this mission here, which you have to mini turbo 14 times. As you can see, Picalex is just halfway across and is still doing them. You probably get a good 30 of them in, or like a good 20 something MTs. And just as a disclaimer, MTs is mini turbos. Should have mentioned that before.
Because are basically time trials because we just naturally perform as many
È un po' difficile.
episodes as we can to go
Nonostante
fast,
diciamo
regardless.
che non solo devo supportare il meme, devo
Yeah,
supportare anche
basically
questa missione.
your inner time trialer just comes out there
Però
for that type of mission. And this one is one where you have to switch modes again and focus on playing more intelligently and remembering the routing of the coins. You collect all 40 of them, which is very, very challenging, especially when you're on a quite stressful pace.
Ok. Adesso le ripeschiamo entrambe.
Like, you
tanto
can
sono
see how
quasi
close those arms were to the coin, even in that like fairly good run of it.
Questa missione è molto semplice, però
Yeah.
dobbiamo sperare nell'RNG perché
We've got another Peach Gardens mission.
di oggetti. Ciò che importa è che non
Actually,
prendiamo
I just
funghi
noticed,
singoli,
is the
possiamo
time of
trovare
day
esempio
slightly
fungo,
different in this
stella
mission?
e fungo
Because I think
singolo.
this
Se
might be the only
prendiamo
mission
il
that does
singolo
that.
fungo, mi metterei a
I don't think
piangere.
so. I don't think any of the skyboxes or anything changed throughout the game.
Yeah, but why does like the brightness look a little bit different for this? Like it's slightly yellow.
Sì, che sarebbe
Maybe that's the stream coming through.
I think it's something to do with the stream. Yeah,
Questo che è il più
it's a bit yellowy, but
Sì,
you know,
esatto. E con un
I'm
singolo
not
Right.
too sure what's going on
possiamo
there.
fare solo un
I
singolo.
didn't notice that before because I'm pretty sure that's not something that happens through like.
Fortunatamente non
capture card stuff.
E possiamo andare a fare l'ultimo boss.
Actually, yeah, it does look a little bit yellow. Did I only just notice that?
Ma lo dobbiamo far cadere 3 volte, quindi per iniziare.
Oh look, it's Chief Chili. He canonically dies as well.
Poteva andare
I think
meglio.
so.
Because you know his first appearance was Super Mario 64 DS, and then this was his only other appearance. So yeah, another canonical death here, Ripperoni.
Non è un problema.
Pretty simple boss here. Just have to knock him into the water, but bear in mind
Ultima.
that for the third time you try and knock him in, you have to do it very quickly, or else he,
Livello 6, adesso ci livello
if
7.
you do it too late, he'll start jumping
Possiamo più preoccupare
and
dei
you'll
ranking,
just
quindi se ci va male
plummet straight into the water. So better watch out for that.
questo giro.
So, following completing the 6 worlds with a star rating, you unlock the secret level 7. And this is 7-1.
Non l'ho mai visto fare senza funghi,
And
quindi
again, if you're on a really good pace, about to PB or whatever, this is a mission where it is crucial to not do too much in terms of doing mini turbos, because Peach's drifting stat is very, very difficult to handle. So you just want to play it as safe as you can.
finora
given that it's Rainbow Road, you can fall off quite easily.
Perfetto.
Yeah, there are actually like a lot of games that have kind of drifter bunch mechanics where like your instincts tell you, I gotta drift, but there are some moments where you gotta specifically remember, stop it. Okay, now we can continue the drifting. It's very hard to like try and remember.
I just want to say, I think, is this probably, if I remember correctly, this is like one of your favorite missions, Marissa?
Banana.
Yeah, for sure.
Esatto.
Just fun of the track, I suppose. It does show some different routes that we do not normally see.
solo sperare
Yeah.
che i funghi
Such as going
generalmente
down
la tem-
below the bridge here,
migliora
which we
contro
are
di
forced to do.
questo. Però
Yeah,
insomma,
like, the
tipo
theming's
fungo
also
stella va
great too.
benissimo.
Like
Fungo
it's
singolo,
literally
fungo
just Mario versus Bowser showdown on Bowser's castle. Like
It is a classic, yeah.
Yeah, it's
you
very
don't
on
really
theme,
get
isn't
that.
it?
silenzio
You don't
porta
really
la
get that in
fortuna
any of the
verso,
other like
assolutamente.
Mario
Ci vogliono i
Karts
funghi
because
perché
I
per
don't
fare un
think
cut è bellino,
any other
purtroppo
Mario
non ce
Kart
lo
games
vogliono
actually have bosses in them.
far vedere.
Oh, okay. One thing I wanted to mention there, he didn't go for this trick. The finish line on Bowser Castle extends all the way across the lava, and there's a bit of the track there where you can use a mushroom or a mini turbo and fly down into the lava and trigger the lap count. He didn't go for it there, but yeah, saves a chunk of time if done correctly.
Yeah, you got it in the Wii, only barely, and it was terrifying, but yes, you did get it.
It's always terrifying, believe me.
Questo prende molta ispirazione da ciò. Il lato positivo di questa missione è che
This is one where the cogwheels and the clock hands are going really, really fast.
Insomma, mi sta uscendo un bel ciclo, quindi
So you
credo
want to
che
be keeping a close eye on that. And unluckily, he just missed the item box there.
Niente.
Questa
So
missione
no shrooms.
I think this is one of the only missions that are like a multi-lapper one. Like obviously there's like the Wiggler one at the very end, but this one's one of them too. And
That is
it's
correct.
and it's specifically 2 laps too, which I find kind of odd. Like the only other place like I'm not too sure about the later games, but I think the only other like track or thing in Mario Kart that's specifically 2 laps is Wario Coliseum.
Oh my god,
That was like crazy ending.
that was
Which he
insane.
lost in 10 for sure.
Questa è esattamente come tutte le missioni.
Yeah, very good recognition. Going up the finish line would extend quite far horizontally.
Qui c'è la
So he was still finishing the race.
sono talmente tanti sparsi
Yeah.
Just like on
che anche
Bowser
tirando a
Castle,
caso i
as they
glitch,
were saying,
spesso e
actually.
volentieri rimbalzano e ne colpiscono uno.
I think Alex might have soul read the comment we made about him not going for Bowser's Castle and went, all right, fine, I'll get one ball while falling off the track. Scaredy cats.
andare in avanti, così quelli che stanno
Yeah, it's
dietro
like, here's this
fanno il
magic
tempo
trick,
di tornare in
I guess.
avanti e noi ci preoccupiamo solo di quelli che
This is a mission where you have to be careful for the Goombas to not walk too far away from your firing range. For example, that one,
Buono, facciamo
did he
un
get
bel-
it? I think he got it.
che becchiamo così.
And that was actually quite
facciamo un
fast.
tunnel
Wow.
carpale.
Yeah, that went
yeah.
by. Quick on it.
That went by really fast. I mean, you just basically turret all the Goombas down as fast as you can. This one is particularly difficult. Again, I just want to highlight how precise the hitboxes are in this game. If you miss any of the coins only just by a little bit, it's particularly frustrating, so you just have to restart the mission.
Come argomento perché una volta che impari e ci giochi per tanto tempo,
Yeah, the coin hitboxes are not
sì, è strano,
particularly
cioè
generous.
sei così abituato che è proprio
Yeah.
Oh, and
Very
also-
tough pattern there.
Hitting the fireballs does
è
just
strano.
Esatto.
end your mission, I
L'ultimo
believe.
salto speriamo di beccare
It does
anche
that for a lot of hazards.
perfetto.
I think, I'm not too sure actually, if it ends your mission or if you spin out and coins fall out. I think it's the latter. I can't remember. Yeah.
This is one of the only missions where the time is so short that you actually see the countdown at the top, even in good run.
Ha donato 3,99
Oh!
Just about made it.
We're still good, yeah.
Siamo tornati a 6-7.
He did get an A rank, but it doesn't matter.
C'è stato un momento
Oh,
Exactly.
great, hold on.
che sono arrivato al countdown della missione.
Look
Fortunatamente
at the
non
chat.
c'è
We've
più
actually
l'importanza
got a
del largo per
90 party
però
raid
si deve
from
spaccare la
Runner Guy
scatola, non so se è
2489.
fare
Like,
quel giro lungo.
hold on, you know what that username reminds me of? If anyone's seen the YouTube poop speed folded, there's a part where it goes. Bubsia had seen speedrunners like Runner Guy 2409 and 3D Prism do runs before. How is that possible? He's blindfolded.
Un giorno a un bambino gravemente
It reminds me of that.
Grazie mille a tutti quelli che stanno donando.
Thank you very much for the raid.
Shouts out, big raid.
Thank you. So, just go back to the run again. We're on our, I think this is the last standard mission. 7-8. You have to collect all the item boxes. There's bananas and fake item boxes in the way as well, so you have to be aware of that. And sometimes the real ones are also hidden. But yeah, very fun mission to do. Really test your reaction time. So after this will be the final boss battle against Wiggler. A race on Mushroom Bridge.
It is a bit weird that the final, like, normal mission track, well, not normal if you include the Secret Worlds missions as normal missions. It's weird that the only the last normal mission track is Banshee Boardwalk.
Ed eccoci qua nell'ultima missione.
Oh, I'd like to highlight that. I was going to say he was going to be on pace for a sub 40, but I don't think he's going to be making it, unfortunately.
If he is, then it's going to be very close.
I was going to say, because this is probably a new event best time. So this is a very good run, given that. So yeah, this final mission, beat Wiggler in a 3-lap race. It's relatively easy thanks to the star item boxes present throughout the track. So Picalex only needs to consistently stay in a star state to beat Wiggler in speed, and that's very easy to do if you're snaking at the same time.
Allora, non ci sono donazioni.
Yeah, just never underestimate the power of snaking. Plus stars.
Comunque, guardate, è probabilmente più interessante di...
Yeah, I'm looking at it. This isn't going to be a sub 40. It's close, but oh well.
It's very close, yeah. It's unfortunate. Would have been nice to see a sub 40. And I think that run, such a run would rank. In fact, this pace I think would rank maybe top 4 on speedrun.com.
I'm looking at where it would be right now. If we're judging the way the categories are right now, this run would finish in 6th.
Yeah,
Okay.
time is coming up as soon as
Yep.
race
Time is coming up.
Finiremo così. Tempo pronto? Finito.
And time!
And there it is.
Well done. That was a 40 minutes 10 seconds time.
Da colpa. Ok. Beh,
Like I said, that would put Alex in 6th on the leaderboard.
Bellissimo.
What's funny is that I think this is one of his quickest recorded runs, because quite often he saves the runs that he's recorded until he gets a really good one, and then uploads them later. At least from what I've seen.
Yeah, that's my understanding as well.
Ai sostenitori della Sardegna.
Sostenitori della Sardegna che in qualche modo ha vinto l'incentivo dopo
Well, I guess we could shout him out. Picalex streams Mario Kart DS on Twitch quite regularly. If you want to go and follow him, twitch.tv/Picalex04. Again, as I said, he's the best Italian Mario Kart DS player by far, and he's quite active in the community. Do you want to give any shout-outs, Marissa? Anything you want to say?
Ci trovate su Mario Kart DS Network?
Not particularly.
Basta, grazie
But,
davvero
as
a tutti
Abel mentioned,
quelli che hanno donato, tutti i miei amici che
there is a
sono
big
divertiti con i nomi delle
Discord server
donazioni.
for
Non
this
vedo
game
l'ora di
called
tornare a
the
sentire un po' queste
Mario Kart DS
storie.
Network. So
Vabbè,
if anyone's
classici.
interested in running this game, that would be a go-to place.
Linea allo YouTube.
I suppose.
Yes, and if you want to head to speedrun.com/MKDS, there's plenty of resources there for running those 2 tracks and all missions.
Volevo ricordare che Naida
Yeah, I
ha
guess,
un regalo per la community con
for
la chiave di
myself,
Turok 2. Io
my
ve la
YouTube
leggo,
is
mi raccomando,
77.
scrivetela al volo.
It's been a while since I've played
4R,
Mario Kart DS, but every Mario Kart player comes back eventually, so
FP Ilunga
So you never know.
5-0.
I'm sure I'll play
C'è sempre quel doppio
at some point.
Ilunga J.
It never leaves
Abel
you.
is still
Siamo lì,
very active as well.
Quindi noi
Yeah.
ricordiamo che tutte
Yeah,
le donazioni
I'm still around.
raccolte
Been playing this game for pretty much 2/3 of my life, and you can find me streaming quite regularly on twitch.tv/Abel. I do Mario Kart DS pretty much exclusively on there, and I'm also on YouTube, MKDS Abel.
I think we received another big donation right there.
Wow. Fantastic. Keep them coming. Wow.
So anyway, I have a few shout-outs I'd like to give. First of all, thank you to the Albion Speedrun Collective for trusting me with doing this. Thank you to Abel and Marissa for making this commentary thing a lot more fun, because I can just imagine if it was only me, I'd be struggling to like bounce off a bunch of stuff. And if you want to know where you can find me, I do have a YouTube channel, but I don't actually upload YouTube videos anymore. Like, I left the platform because I didn't agree with a lot of YouTube's newer policies. So if you want to find me, then you can find me on my own websites. They're both on NeoCities. Just look for Hamman for like the stuff I write up about, and Ham's Portal for my newer videos. If you don't know precisely where to look, then you can just find the links on my YouTube channel. So yeah, that's pretty much it from me. Thank you for trusting me with this restream, and I'll pass it back to Abel for the conclusion.
Yeah, again, thank you very much, Hamman, for being with us here. Hope you learned plenty about Mario Kart DS. And yeah, thanks again, Albion Speedrun Collective, for having us and for hosting the restream. And hopefully I'll attend one of your in-person events sometime in the future. And yeah, I suppose good luck to the next run. And yeah, thanks again for having me.
And with that, we'll pass it over to Freddy and Nick RP Green.
Yeah, bye bye.
Yeah.